and welcome to the podcast. I'm Marisa.
And I'm Ariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. As a reminder, this podcast is rated T for teen for strong language and mature themes.
If you don't like that shit, well, tough titties. See someone else later. Yep, no, I lost it, sorry. You don't have to stick around, but you really shouldn't stay here, because, we're offensive.
Yeah. You make it sound like we're offensive.
No, just more offensive.
To some,
You know,
it is what it is. C'est comme ça. Yes, I've been obsessed with the Paramore album for the last, 2 weeks. I don't know, it just hit. When you have a soundtrack or an album and you just have it on repeat for a week straight.
I don't really have that anymore. Because I listen to my music while I'm working. Oh my god, we're doing this on podcast now.
We are now. So yeah, what are we talking about tonight, sister?
Today we're taking a stab at bitchiest.png. Or as some of you may know it, these salty bitches do brackets about Nancy being a bitch. Not very catchy. What? Stop licking your pen, you lunatic.
Can't bring it back. I'll have to use this pencil.
Why were you licking the pen if you had a pencil right there?
Because I wanted it to be pink.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
So we're finding out which game Nancy is the bitchiest in.
We are.
By a bracket.
Bracket!
It's a bracket.
It's a bracket.
So, y'all know the drill. Because of the amount of games in the series, we have to have a qualifier before we go right on in. So, Deadly Device versus Treasure in the Royal Tower on how bitchy she is. In which game is she bitchier?
I mean, I feel like she's least bitchy in Treasure in the Royal Tower. That's pretty bland, Nancy.
It is, though. Yeah.
So, and you know what? She gets kind of sassy with Victor. I wouldn't necessarily call her bitchy, but it's definitely bitch adjacent.
Yeah.
Oh, and she does a lot of talking to Deirdre, and Lord knows they get bitchy.
They do. So, yeah. Deadly
I have
Device.
no specific examples, but...
Yeah. Just the vibe, Yeah. So, yes, Deadly Device. So, in the actual round, Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon versus Deadly Device. I mean, I think she's bitchier in Deadly Device.
Definitely. Honestly, that's another one of those Nancy being a doormat games. It's like, okay, oh, she left me in the middle of a...
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Okay. So that's decided. Deadly Device.
Yes.
Silent Spy versus Ransom of the Seven Ships.
Again, I wouldn't say bitchy, but she's definitely a lot more, not taking anyone's shit in Spy.
Yeah.
Because her mommy issues are on the line.
Yeah, I agree. Silent Spy. Creature of Kapu Cave versus Midnight in Salem. Both of them are kind of bland.
Yeah,
Bland
I would
Nancy,
say
Blancy, if you were.
probably Creature of Kapu Cave, because while there is the Deirdre element of Midnight in Salem, Creature of Kapu Cave, I feel like she's a little more ugh, I can't keep dealing with this shit. First a bridge collapses, now this. What the fuck am I doing here? So, maybe that's just something I imbue it with, but I feel like probably a Creature of Kapu Cave.
Yeah, I agree. Trail of the Twister versus Message in a Haunted Mansion. Trail of the Twister, completely.
Hands down.
Jesus Christ, Nancy.
She got no stopping her.
Curse of Blackmore Manor versus Legend of the Crystal Skull.
Legend
of the Crystal Skull.
Yeah, she's definitely a little more like talking down.
Yeah.
About it, because it's a lot of it. You believe that, as opposed to Curse of Blackmore Manor, which is more. We don't find out until the very end what they believe. Yeah. And even then.
So, Final Scene versus Secrets Can Kill. Final Scene.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Sorry. I don't know why my brain had to search for Secrets Can Kill for so long. Yeah, Final Scene. Love it. Love to see it.
Loading signal above your head. Icicle Creek versus Alibi and Ashes. Alibi and Ashes.
Alibi and Ashes, yeah. I think she's definitely got home court advantage, and therefore she's
that, like, unleashes her bitchdom.
Yeah, she's like, somebody framed me for arson. Apparently, and it's like, this is my line.
Well, the thing is it's like all those other people, it's like, she doesn't know them. There's no emotional attachment. But here, she's like, bitch, I know you guys. Like, really?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Labyrinth of Lies versus Secret of the Old Clock.
Well, definitely not Secret of the Old Clock. I'm not remembering any bitchiness in Labyrinth of Lies, but definitely not Secret of the Old Clock, because they go, like, old school Nancy with it. Where she's like, golly gee, buckaroo. She never says anything like that. Disclaimer.
No, really?
That's because nobody says anything like that, you
Okay. Sea of Darkness versus Haunted Carousel. I think Haunted Carousel?
Yeah,
because of the weird fucking thing where she tries to, like, tell on him for being a felon.
Oh, he served his time and is therefore clean in the eyes of the law.
I know, it's like, Nancy, what the fuck?
Bitch, are you for real? You are why they become repeat offenders.
Yeah, you in particular.
Specifically Nancy.
Phantom of Venice versus Captive Curse. Honestly, Phantom of Venice.
Really? Maybe it's just because I would have been a bitch to Colin, because fuck that guy. Phantom of Venice. Colin/Justin?
Yes.
Okay, you were looking confused.
I was just losing myself.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I'm here. I'm following your train of thought, so it's okay that I don't have one myself.
Oh, okay, that's great. No, but Phantom of Venice, I guess she does have some, like, back and forth with Marguerite.
Yeah.
Margarita.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, why not?
Marge. Good old Marge.
Good old Marge. Don't call me that.
Do you think she's bitchy in Captive Curse?
No.
I don't think
really.
so.
And it's funny because, like, Tits McGee definitely invites her to be.
Like, she okay, does.
Dish.
But, okay. Jesus Christ, there are so many games.
There are.
Warnings at Waverly Academy or Ghost Dogs of Moonlight. I think she's a smartass in Ghost Dogs.
I guess, yeah, she gets kind of sassy with Red Knot.
But yeah, with Red and with Jeff, she's sassy in that one.
Yeah, and I think because it is so, like, misplaced, I would count it as bitchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, well, my father has a real job. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So next is Shadow Ranch versus Scarlet Hand. I would say Scarlet Hand. I don't know if she's not bitchy in Shadow Ranch. She is like, she's a tricky one.
Yeah, I feel like she's really along for the ride in Shadow Ranch.
She really is.
I feel like I don't know. I guess she's more like righteously indignant in Secret of the Scarlet Hand, so yeah. I will concede to that being the bitchier one.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's an important distinction.
Yeah. Okay. Ghost of Thornton Hall versus Haunting of Castle Malloy. Ghost of Thornton Hall, in my opinion.
Yes. She's very rude to Wade, and I know that is the main reason that you...
Yeah.
hate it. You know what I mean? Not hate it.
She doesn't, like, what is wrong with you? Why are you being so judgy? So yeah. Tomb of the Lost Queen, versus, Shadow at the Water's Edge. I think she's a bitch in both games.
I mean...
I think that her bitchiness is worse in the context of Water's Edge.
See, whereas I think that is weirdly more unwitting than anything else. Like, it is still very invasive and horrible, and she's just like...
She's being rude.
She is.
But is it in a bitchy way?
Or is it just like... It is
completely, like...
It is insensitive, for sure.
Yes.
But I feel like she's, like, more intentionally bitchy in Tomb of the Lost Queen. Because...
Yeah. She's also, like, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of, like, talking down and a lot of, like... Especially when she thinks that Jamila is really an alien believer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, I agree. Tomb of the Lost Queen. Danger by Design. Yeah, versus Danger on Deception Island. The danger on danger action.
Oh, no.
I think Danger by Design, she's bitchier.
Definitely. But it makes sense.
It does.
You know, you go into the world of fashion and modeling, and that's what you're going to come out with. Everybody saw Devil Wears Prada.
Stay tuned for Danger versus Shattered Medallion.
Shattered Medallion, because I can't think of a single moment of her being anywhere near... She doesn't have a personality yet.
It's true. She doesn't.
Like, the most she does is seem disgusted by Rick Arlen, which, valid.
So, on to our next round. Deadly Device versus Silent Spy.
Silent Spy.
Yeah,
for sure. Like I said, she's definitely more like, give me back my kid, give me back my family.
Yeah. Creature of Kapuke versus Trail of the Twister. Trail of the Twister, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Legend of the Crystal Skull versus Final Scene.
Final Scene, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, a little more sassy than actually bitchy, but, you know.
Alibi and Ashes versus Labyrinth of Flies. I say Ash.
Yeah, for sure. Again, rightfully so. These people accuse her of arson.
They do, yeah. Haunted Carousel versus Phantom of Venice. Haunted Carousel, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake versus Secret of the Scarlet Hand. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I would say Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake, but just by like a hair.
Yeah.
Because again, there's the righteous indignation, but then there's like, she feels like such a rich white girl sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Okay. Ghost of Thornton Hall versus Tomb of the Lost Queen.
Ghost of Thornton Hall. I mean, it's fairly intentional in that. Like, there's some, I don't know.
It's
like
just
outright
weird.
And not like in an under her breath kind of way.
Yeah. It's like, ma'am, what the fuck? Danger by Design versus Shattered Medallion. Danger by Design,
for sure. Yeah. She's just more like stubborn in Shattered Medallion.
Okay. progressing more quickly now.
Yeah.
But I think now's where it's going to start getting difficult. So, buckle up, y'all. Silent Spy versus Trail of the Twister. I want to say Trail of the Twister, but I could be persuaded.
Because I do feel like it's definitely more attitude, at least in Spy. But at the same time, the fact that it's righteous indignation contextualizes it for me. So she's definitely more intentionally bitchy rather than, focused and terse in Trail of the Twister.
Yeah.
So I will concede that one.
Okay. Final Scene versus Alibi and Ashes. Very difficult.
That is difficult.
It's such, I think she's bitchier in Alibi and Ashes, especially once she gets out of jail and she gets to go talk to the people, in person. These people who she knows have done shit and benefited in her being arrested, and she gets to look them in the face and just fucking call them out on it.
Yeah.
I think she goes for it.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely, at some point, she definitely calls Brenda, second rate or something, right?
It's something like that.
She definitely insults her. I love it.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. Haunted Carousel versus Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake. Again, difficult.
I am going to go with Haunted Carousel, honestly.
Yeah, there's no reason for her to have done that.
It's so weird.
She could have just minded her own fucking business.
Yeah, and I feel like definitely as the daughter of a lawyer, you should be taught,
Yeah. The
basics of law and the rights of Americans and whatever,
Whatever.
He's like, no, just call daddy when you're in trouble. Don't worry about it, kiddo. Go ahead.
Ghost of Thornton Hall versus Danger by Design. Ghost of Thornton
Hall. Yeah. But only because she gets her classism up in her.
Whew. We are into the semifinal now.
Yay!
Okay. We have Trail of the Twister versus Alibi and Ashes.
Alibi and
Ashes.
For sure. But again, righteous.
Okay. Haunted Carousel versus Ghost of Thornton Hall.
Ghost of Thornton Hall.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause the other is more teacher.
Yeah. It is, which is annoying, but again, not as bitchy.
Yeah.
So we have our final, which is going to be pretty difficult in my opinion. Alibi and Ashes versus Ghost of Thornton Hall. Shoot. I think I'm going to say Ghost of Thornton Hall because she has no real reason to be like this. Whereas in Alibi and Ashes, they did all just benefit from her being framed for arson.
Yeah, and her immediate she's talking to people who have lost someone, and she's supposed to be there to help them, but the police are more gentle. She's just oh, I'm going to insult you while you're already really stressed and worried that your family member is deceased or kidnapped or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking weird. And then, the way that she, then tells on Harper? What the fuck? Okay. You know what? Ghost of Thornton Hall.
Ghost of Thornton Hall
where
wins.
Nancy is the bitchiest.
Love that game. Hate that bitch.
There we go.
Delightful.
So, I will include the blank bracket for you guys to... Yes. So, the new bracket... You're so mean to me.
No, I wasn't being mean. I was just saying bracket.
But you guys can finish it out for yourself and tell us which game you thought she was the bitchiest in. You're wrong. We are correct. But you can still let us know on all of our social media, which are places. Like we're Krolmeister sisters or K-Meister sisters everywhere.
Yeah, just universally. Just
so
look us up. You can also
give us a Google.
Give us a good Googling. I was taken back to Buffy episode way too late in for it to be making Google jokes. Anyway, yeah. You can also purposefully find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Spotify. And in those places, you can rate us and say that we're good and that we definitely include the visual element in podcasting. Really get people being like, what does that mean?
Yeah, because if you want access to the Podcast Night VODs, you have to be a backer on our Patreon. So,
we still do that. We still do Patreon.
We do, yes. We have Patreon. See, and that's the thing, is that people who are our backers, and they're like, I want to know what the fuck they were showing on screen.
Right.
They can then go look at the VOD and find out. So really think about the addition to your podcasting experience.
To the Krolmeister
$1 a month. Just saying. So, putting it out there. Yeah. So, as a reminder, I'm Marisa.
And I'm Mariana.
And we're the Krolmeister sisters. And we're asking you guys to stay sleuthy.